Alright, so we're in Maya and we're going to apply that new brick. Oops. Window rendering editors, Hypershade. Drag my Hypershade window open. Go to textures. And what I usually do is go to my computer hard drive and just drag them in from an Explorer window. So there's my desktop. Here is video, wait, let's alphabetize these. Video Warehouse. And I'm just going to drag these in. Now I use Maya to preview my textures before I drag them into the Unreal Engine. Always. Because you can judge scale here, you can move UVs around here, you can judge color here, but you can't do any of that in Unreal. Unreal is just you mount it on there, it's good to go. Certainly there are some tweaks that you can do using complicated nodes, but I try to stay away from those as much as possible. So here, middle mouse button click and drag to color. Middle mouse button click and drag to bump map. This has a bump map node, this one right here. And over here you can see that it has a drop down that I can use tangent space normals. And I'll apply that brick to something. Let's say this one. Okay. And I'll go to high quality rendering. And voila, there we go. That doesn't look too bad. Again, I'm just kind of looking at scale to see if that lines up. And certainly, yeah, in real life, that's about what it looks like. Okay, and if you go to the other side, you'll see that that looks good too. I'm just making sure that normal map is dipped in. Now, there are some things that I see, like these faces right here don't line with the brick, so that's what I'm going to be looking at in the UV texture editor. If you go to image, you can go to dim image, and I can see where that one's at. Now, that's going to be a really hard fix because the actual edge is right up against the brick, so I couldn't move this face around at all. In order to move this, I would have to seriously go in here and take and cut these edges. And then what I can do is grab the UVs and go right click, control right click to shell. And then I can go like this and move them around until they make good sense. That looks a little bit better. I don't really like scaling things, but in this case these are corner pieces. They were already kind of scaled to begin with, so that's why I had to scale them down a little bit. There's that one. And this one is this one right here. Again, I just take some time to kind of look at it from a distance and line it up. Good. The ones on the end don't really matter that much. Those are always going to be covered up by another mesh. So, because I used that checker pattern, I'm able to see what scale is. If you don't remember a checker pattern, using that in texture rendering and lighting, what that is if I go into checkers, and I'm just going to click on this one and click this button to straighten it out. So I'll show you a way to uniformly scale all the textures at once. Here's the checker pattern. Here is Lambert. And I drag the color to color. So this one to color. And then this one right here, I want to repeat it. So I click on it, and down here it says repeat UV. I change it to 10. or whatever. It doesn't really matter. I just find 10 useful. So I'll show you how to scale all these the same way. Take and drag these out to all the ones that are going to be using brick. Okay, now your mission is to get all the checkers the same size, correlating to this one. It's very easy. When you go to UV Texture Editor, you can go in and grab your UVs, and sometimes you'll have to shrink them, sometimes you'll have to scale them up. In this case, I have to shrink to get that size. I'll put that one up here. And to scale in Maya 2012 is a pain in the butt. You have to grab it just right to get to the uniform scale. I don't know what they did there or what they were thinking, but I'm sure somebody's going to comment about that. All right, you're doing it right now. Well, technically I know why, because because you're bored and you want to post something on YouTube. That's why. So here we go. Sorry, not to rant. That's about the same size. And UV. There we go. Now some might argue that by shrinking these down, actually that's killing the resolution. And certainly you might win that argument. But remember, this thing is as small in this area, so you have to keep them all within the ratio scale of each other. So if this one is this small, it's going to be small here because look at this. The space between here is equal to the space about to here. Alright, cool. Now that I've used the checker pattern, let's apply the brick to it and see how that works. Ooh, that one needs to be rotated. Okay, and I'm going to move that down just a little bit. Okay, and we're going to have to do something special with these meshes. We'll do that in the next video. Okay, if it all matches up, I should be able to put these meshes up against each other, and the brick, it shouldn't even be distinguishable between the two meshes. See? If they are, like this one, I'm going to have to rescale those. But as you see, if I dragged it into the foreground, it makes sense. Usually what I do is I butt up two bricks and make sure the scale matches. If the grout lines interact, I did a good job. In this case, they need a little bit of tweaking. And very carefully, there we go. Cool. All right. Now let's look at these and what we can do to utilize this one texture across many meshes in the next video.